Hi everyone, this is Helen Cole from Sportsmind Gold Coast. Today I'd like to talk about how to get what you want in your chosen sport or in life. So every day through all of our senses we're bombarded with information. And if your brain was to try to absorb all that information, you'd probably go insane. But fortunately we've all got a RAS or reticular activating system in our brain. And what that does is it filters out unnecessary information, but it also looks for evidence to support your thoughts. So, for example, if you've ever gone to buy a new car, even before you've purchased it, wherever you go, you start to notice those cars on the road. Or if you're the type of person that inherently thinks that the world is a wonderful place, there's plenty of evidence that you can find each and every day to support that belief. By contrast, if you think the world is evil and full of doom and gloom, again, there's plenty of evidence out there to support that belief as well. So here's my point. Humans, we're like missiles. Whatever you focus on, you will move towards. So this is why it's essential every day to know where you want your focus to land. And you can do this quite simply through goal setting. Now, we've all heard about SMART goals, but I like to use a more sophisticated model called the success model, and that was developed by Sportsmind founder Jeffrey Hodges. So what the success model does is that it uses specific steps that you need to understand and implement in order to achieve a goal, because everyone can set goals but not everyone achieves goals, and perhaps you were one of those people in the past. But the success model really makes sure that you can actually achieve those goals. So it starts off by looking at your desired outcome. Knowing your outcome helps you to direct your attention, and this way you don't start to confuse motion with progress. It's a bit like the athlete that trains, more hours than anybody else, but doesn't ever really achieve their potential, or somebody that's really busy spinning the wheels, but again, not achieving their goals. So part of this process is that I like to involve is a sensory acuity technique or process as well. And by this, I mean using all your senses to look for evidence of how you know that you have achieved your goal. So for example, a swimmer might be attending or might be swimming a race, and I would say to them, well, how will you know that you've achieved your outcome? What will you see? And that person might say, well, I will see the time that I want to achieve up on the clock. What will you hear? Well, I might hear my coach congratulating me, or my teammates saying, job well done. I might hear my name being called over the PA system because I have to go up on the podium. What will you feel? Well, I'll feel the lactic acid burning in my arms and thighs, but I also might feel pride or joy, or confidence as a result. You can also include the other senses like taste or smell. So for example, I might smell chlorine on my skin, or I might taste my favorite meal when I celebrate my success later that night. So another thing that we do with the success model is that we also look at what are the costs associated with you pursuing this goal, and are you prepared to pay that price? Obviously there's benefits, and that's part of the pleasure of moving towards your goal. What are these wonderful benefits that achieving your goal will bring? But what are the costs as well? What are the obstacles? What are the challenges that you might face? And sometimes you need to look for a solution to these obstacles as well, or the costs involved, or even fine-tune that particular goal so that you can still achieve what you want, but take into consideration some of the costs that might be associated with it. If not, you might even find yourself subconsciously sabotaging your efforts. Something that was also involved with the success model is making sure that you have the correct resources to be able to achieve that goal. And that's both tangible and non-tangible things. So tangible would be, have you got the right equipment? And non-tangible might be, have you got access to the right information, or information on diets, or do you have the right attitude or belief system to be a champion? You could also look at not only what you want to do and what you want to have with your goal setting, but also what's the type of athlete that you want to be. So do you want to, and by that I mean, what are the character traits that you want to be like? Because if you do develop yourself personally as an athlete, you'll find that you will also achieve what you want to have or what you want to do. So do you want to be the type of athlete who is respected and resilient? Or are you going to be that athlete who smashes their racket or their bat when the point doesn't go their way? You'd also, as part of this success model process look at making sure that you have a self-initiated strategy. So what steps do you have to take today, tomorrow, next week, next month, 3 months from here to, again, work towards your goal? And then, of course, a visualization exercise that you would do on a regular basis, or even some affirmations that you could imprint, again, to move towards achieving that goal. The questions that you ask during this process are also really important, because some questions will move you towards your outcome and some will move you away. So, for example, rather than asking things like, oh, why can't I beat that competitor? Or why can't I ever make a rep team or make a final? You could ask something a little different. Those sort of questions that I've just mentioned then, they're likely to give you some really negative, disempowering answers, and sometimes answers that you won't like, or answers that you don't have any control over. Because your internal voice might say stuff like, well, you're not good enough, or because you don't have the correct gene pool, or something that's completely nonsense and a very limiting belief. You could ask, for example, how can I achieve my sporting goal of making a rep team or making a final while still enjoying the process? Or what specific part of my game do I need to change to allow me to beat that particular competitor? And again, those questions will deliver answers that are empowering and will move you towards your outcome or towards the goal that you want to achieve. So start setting your outcome and notice how your reticular activating system goes to work. And coincidentally, you'll start to, notice events appearing that, you could attend that might help you achieve your goals, or you might be introduced to people that coincidentally could help you, or information, you might have access to information that can help you get that desired outcome. So if you'd like further information on anything I've mentioned earlier today, please contact me. My name is Helen Cole at Sportsmind Gold Coast, and thanks again for watching.